Okay, guys, it's game number 4. So at this point, we are going to double check how this is actually going to work out. The Jabronis are going up against the Russian Circus once again, and the Haka is banned out right away. The map is Cursed Hollow, and we've seen insane games thus far. So let's see how exactly this is going to work out for the Jabronis. Are they going to confirm the 3-1 victory, or are we going to see a tie again in the 5th map coming up?
Well, bans happening very, very quickly here. Dahaka removed. It's a big map, makes a lot of sense. No ETC ban, it's a Tassadar ban, is to remove that potential Tracer and Tracer or Illidan. But, like we said, ETC goes over. Let's see if the theme continues.
To me, I understand that they're actually banning out the Tassadar so that they are not dealing with the Tracer anymore, but that ETC is giving them a lot of trouble in the last few games. I guess I would actually like them to at least ban out Leoric, because I don't think they have to be afraid of... I would take these comfort picks away. Every single time that we've seen the Jabronis play, they are focusing on ETC, and they're usually trying to combo off the Leoric with it. So they must know that right now. And of course, on a map like Cursed Hollow, there's a ton of heroes that you would like to ban out. I mean, we're talking Global Presence, Falstad, and others as well. We're talking about Tyrael here, for example. But overall, Jabronis, I feel like they always have this core draft that they are trying to go for, and then they adapt to the rest of the opponent's setup.
Yeah, I would agree. But this time, for I believe one of the first times, Li Ming has been let through by the Russian Circus, and she is picked up by the Jabronis as their second pick. And is that a variant? That's a variant!
Variant banding. No, variant picked.
No, picked!
Variant is actually picked this time. So guys, again, we talked about this a bit earlier. We have no picture in this third-party tool that is being used for the draft for Varian. So the pick that you see, the second pick for the Jabronis, it is Varian. Stun into stun. We're going to continue with the bans here, but you're going to see that in a moment that there's a little bit of a gap in there. And that is actually the Varian pick that has just been made by the Jabronis. So we have the engagement with a level 4 talent on his side, followed up potentially then with the ETC.
It is time. It's time. We've been waiting all day for it. In fact, all 2 days for it. We went yesterday as well. But we finally get to see it, Caldor. Now, how will Russian Circus respond to this? They're still waiting on their ban for the moment, trying to work out what to get rid of, what combos with this variant.
I mean, there's a couple of heroes that you really want to get rid of in such a situation, and usually you would think about banning Jaina, but right now there's already Li Ming on the board for the Jabronis, and traditionally speaking, teams try to avoid 2 mage heroes, because they are just so cooldown based that you are more likely to go into 1 mage and sustain auto attack damage dealer that might have a bit of ability power as well, but has a bit of a different focus in the way that he dishes out the damage. So they are going for an Abathur ban here instead. They don't want to deal with Variant plus Abathur, which I can totally understand too. The extra attack speed and everything that he has to offer here, also like the shields, it's just like too good. But this is going to change the pace of the game a lot. Like, that Varian is changing everything right now.
Alright, and we see a respond with the Vikings. The Abathur could have been a good split soak counter to the... the Vikings could have been a bit split soak for Russian Circus here, which is a good reason why the Abathur was banned as well. Because if Abathur had been taken by the Jabronis while Russian Circus took the Vikings, they would have got themselves... the Russian Circus would have got themselves very far ahead here. So both teams denying a lot of that global. Right now, the only potentially global hero in the game is that ETC.
Yep. And against the tanks, we have the Tigers now. So, the setup that we are having, we've been talking a little bit about like this base setup on the side of the Jabronis, but Russian Circus is basically doing the same thing. They really love to play around the Malfurion here. Whenever they can, they pick him. They have also that high priority on Muradin for Power of Dream. And Neon has been and the battle for Tigers has been going on between the two of them. So they have their core draft ready again, but now they have to also cater a little bit towards that Varian. And one of the things, of course, that can really destroy Varian are stuns. You're trying to disable him for as long as you can.
Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of relentless or anything like that. He does have to tank through. He has different ways of absorbing damage. He has his second wind for his attack speed healing. He has his victory rush for killing off minions and getting that big burst heal. And I don't know the name of the talent, but the talent that allows him to just absorb all damage, including ability damage. So he's very good at absorbing the damage, but CC is something he can struggle with quite a lot.
Yeah, the problem with the ability damage talent is that it actually collides with the stun, and that's one of the biggest assets for him. So normally you don't see that. But guys, there you see the gap in the draft. As explained before, it's like a placeholder for the new hero. So they combo it off with a Brightwing. And the Tyrael, I actually like that for the panic button as well. I really think that's a good choice here for them. Having the Sanctification on the ground overall on this map is amazing. Holy Ground later on is too. But against Varian in particular, I feel having that option is really important. So I totally agree on that. So Jabronis here with their last pick. A bit more range damage would probably be nice for them. Falstad is still around. We could see the Vala here. I'm still thinking if they might actually drop another melee assassin type in there, but against the Tyrael with the Sanctification, I think it's really unlikely.
There is the potential that Varian is melee assassin. We do need to remind about that, and that makes it potentially even more likely. The Zarya coming in here. Remember, Varian is a multi-class hero, potentially as the tank with the Taunt talent, or an assassin, which could be burst if you go for the Colossus Strike, or the attack speed, which is the Fury talent, where you can make him into a melee assassin.
I mean, usually we see really him going for Colossus Blade, but overall I feel that having the extra attack speed with the Twin Blades, if you don't have a lot of stuns against you, is crazy because it gives you so much sustain, especially if you can combo it off with any kind of additional, let's say, Abathur or also the Tacita here. So that's a huge asset to have there. And if you can sustain through the fights, because the attack speed, if you go for the second wind as your level 7 talent, really allows you a huge amount of survivability if you're not getting disabled or stunned. So there's definitely choices for them how they are trying to approach this. We have Gul'dan now chosen as the last one. He gets usually a quite fair amount of damage in with the corruption here. The one thing that I am worried about right now is that Neon on Gul'dan is playing it as aggressive as he did on Tomb of the Spider Queen. If he does that, I think he is going to get wrecked in every team fight, because Varian is going to look for him. And when he gets the charge, when he gets the stun, and the rest of the team follows up, then Gul'dan is going to be a dead orc. So right now, I feel he needs to stay in the back, behind Muradin, behind Tyrael, and really make sure that he gets that poke in. Be it as it may, guys, we go into game number 4. It could be the last game in this best of 5 series. Jabronis up against the Russian Circus, so let's jump right into the game. Alright, let's check that out.
First time seeing him. Gonna be good. And I will say, Colossus is pretty strong for the burst style comps, but I think I agree with you that the attack speed is a bit more likely on this one, purely because it is the Zarya for this one.
I've seen most...
Also, it's Falstad last pick, not Gul'dan.
Yeah, Falstad is the last pick, so apparently something bugged there. We talked about it just a second ago, but I already forgot Gul'dan. Okay, Falstad over Gul'dan. Makes also sense because they had so far Neon on both of these two heroes. So the Falstad is being played there. It's also a bit more direct attack damage against the front line. But yeah, like with a Colossus Blade and the Twin Blades, I'm really interested to see what they're going to choose here. So far, going for Colossus has been the one that I've seen more, but I think if you don't have enough stuns against you, it makes sense to go for the attack speed, since the survivability gain that you get is pretty huge.
And the stuns we can see here, there's the potential for the Malfurion route, which is pretty scary actually, so that one, it could become potentially difficult. There is Muradin, there is the Tychus Grenade, and of course there is Sanctification just to screw everything over. But overall, I'm still just happy to see him, and of course, we should point out, this is going to be on Cursed Hollow, and this is the map with 2 bosses. Guess what Varian's really, really good at? Getting bosses with the attack speed builds.
Oh, don't tell anyone. I've been blessed with a couple of guys that thought that Varian is just like going to get camps all the game long, and then he adds value to the team. That's always
Unless
a
you're on
pleasure.
black hearts, that is not the case.
Yeah, I can do boss alone and then give it to my opponent because they're wondering, hey, where has
they're just
Varian
waiting
been?
in the bush the entire time.
Yeah, where has Varian been in the last 30 seconds? Oh, look at that, a free boss. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, that happens every now and then. Anyways. The game, ladies and gentlemen, is starting up. The Jabronis are in the lead. We have Varian also for the first time. The game is an interesting one. The one thing that I want to have to announce again is that actually the last pick on Gul'dan that we briefly talked about is not really happening. It was apparently still a problem on the last pick here. It's the faults that instead will also makes a lot of sense since so far Neon has been playing on Tychus and on Gul'dan. So it is again Falstad played by Sir Ice Cream. Also caters to the map a little bit better maybe even. Tyrael right now for the Russian Circus, played by Hydra. So Ice Cream on Falstad again, Neon on Tychus, Power of Dream on Muradin, and we're having Sevka on Malfurion. With to the right side, the Jabronis starting with Mopsy on ETC once more, Dickazoy on Liming, linked on Brightwing, Kronos is playing the Varian, and Maka is currently on Zarya, going to try and provide a few shields for especially, or of course, Varian himself.
Yeah, and Varian starting off with the High King's Quest, the maximum damage talent here. So there's a fairly likelihood here that he's probably going to end up picking the second wind or the Live by the Sword as opposed to the Victory Rush. Although he can still go Victory Rush here, but with Victory Rush you can sometimes see the Q builds, the Q talent on level 1, so that you can kill the minions even quicker, and as such build that Victory Rush cooldown so you can get it as quick as possible.
Yeah, Kronos is currently up against Hydra at the top lane with his Varian, so already rocking the skin. I like that quite a bit. We're having in the mid lane Falstad, which gives him the opportunity to fly to any lane if they can potentially get a kill there. It's the bot lane where we currently have a 3 versus 3, but of course the talent that you just pointed out, the High King's Quest, is not the only stacking talent that we are seeing. You have again the focus on Seasoned Marksman with Falstad, and Zarya is also adding into the Demolitionist Expert, focusing heavily on the particle grenades.
Zarya stacking very quickly though, far quicker than anyone else in this game, doing an insane job of hitting those grenades so far and keeping the harassment up. This lane is pushing super aggressively from the Jabronis here, keeping the pressure on. Whereas ETC currently just chilling in the mid lane. He's already pushed back Sir Ice Cream quite a bit, forcing him to Fountain, and Mopsio just showing his dominance in lane for the moment.
Mopsio is doing a good job against Falstad, but if worse comes to worse, he can just simply fly back and fly back in. So keep in mind that at 2 minutes, well, we are seeing a playmate for Zarya, but no Stormbolt available for Power 3. 2 minutes in, the camps are going to spawn, and then we are going to see teams starting to go for the Siege Giant to get a bit of a lead once that the first tribute spawns, but Sevka is most likely going to head back at some point to get some mana, I suppose. So far, not making that move.
So far, in terms of the High King's Quest talent, 24 out of 50 on the Heroes attack part of it. For those who don't know, there are 3 parts to this quest, probably the most difficult quest talent in the game outside of Taste for Blood. But this one is basically you have to attack 50 heroes with auto attacks. Hang on, Zarya getting focused down here. She is rooted, Power 3, attempting to body block. Falstad coming in, and they will get that kill.
That's the kill.
Sorry, go on.
No. You were talking about the talent, I believe.
Yeah, so the second part of the talent is the 5 takedowns, which so far he has taken part in. That kill was against his own team and without him having anything to do with it. And the last part, you have to collect 20 globes. Also, this next talent, the Warbringer, probably one of the best talents in the game, reducing the cooldown of his charge and making it stun, which is a beast.
Yeah, the charge here, this is really the one talent that sets him apart from the crowd. Having that point-click stun is absolutely amazing. Thanks to the kill that was gotten at the bot lane, they didn't even have to go for the Siege Giants, so they didn't really have the time to make anything happen there. It's slightly the experience that they have for themselves now, but this is where the team fights start, and what we expect to see is really stuns into stuns. Varian leading, and then Mopsio following it up with a power slide. But so far, it's actually working out in favor of the blue team. We're seeing the Russian Circus making decent plays here. Brightwing jumped in, a potential kill. Dickazoy is down, and there's a lot of damage gone, but a counter kill against Hydra is very likely. It happens. Mopsio is paying with his life for it, though.
Yeah, Hydra on the Tyrael, though, exploding, doing a huge amount of damage, and that is going to give this tribute over to Russian Circus. Nike can delay for a little bit longer. No, he can't. Not reacting in time there. And as such, the tribute is picked up by Falstad and Russian Circus, making it 3 kills to 1 and 1 tribute to 0.
Yeah, and Falstad, of course, can go straight into the mid lane or bot lane again. He flies down to the bottom. He has also 9 stacks on his Seasoned Marksman. Those kills against the heroes help, of course, a lot, and he was involved in every single one of them thus far, participating in all 3 takedowns here. We have, in terms of talents, also now Give Me 20 taken, so a lot of quest talents for Zarya in particular here, as we have Varian joining up with the rest of the team up to the top again, and also we have an adjustment on Falstad on level 7 going into the charge up, which I have actually not really seen in this particular setup. That's a hybrid build that is very new.
Yeah, we've spoken about it before. We spoke about it before, but only in the terms of how little it is picked outside of a pure lightning rod build. But this is an adjustment based on Varian. They want to focus him down. I would also like to point out, with the build Varian's going for, the attack speed is potential. He's getting focused down here, but he has gone for the second wind here. Like I said, he's going for that victory rush. He wants to sustain, but the attack speed gets the most value out of that talent.
I love the talent. Going into the second wind, it's insane how much sustain he has if you leave him alone. And if we've been saying one thing about the Russian Circus is that they actually lack a bit of focus in a lot of these fights. And if they don't focus Varian down properly, they are going to lose in the end a lot of ground here. But for now, they are dominating. They get another kill against Zarya, and they will get another tribute. But it can be very, very dangerous to go up against this. So that's something that we have to keep an eye on later on in the game. And it also could influence the level 10 talent choice.
Yeah, but we'll have to keep an eye on those talent choices once we hit those heroics. But like we said, a big blow up onto Zarya basically turns the fight very quickly. Zarya's trying to poke, but with the hard engages we're seeing out of Russian Circus, it's becoming very difficult for her to stay at range. Good stun on Sir Ice Cream, the stun into stun. Working out, there's the second part, the second stun in that sentence, and they're able to pick up the kill with that Calamity from Li Ming.
And that's exactly what they are trying to do throughout the game right now. So that's the first kill that they got with this. And yeah, they have to be a bit more careful than that. They cannot really move out. They're not aware where exactly Varian is. Or at least ETC for that matter. Up to the point where he can pick up the stage dive if he does so. But right now, they are in a bit of trouble. Also, we have of course the cleanse pick by Malfurion. In the last game, it was more of a focus on the mule. Now we have cleanse on both sides. Pretty standard talents for most of the heroes so far, except for the ones that we pointed out, with Falstad going for the extra range here. And yeah, the next tribute is going to be a very important one, especially since we have the earlier level 10 for the Russian Circus, so it's a potential early curse against the Jabronis.
Yeah, there is that level 10 Li Ming and Varian. Going to attempt to either get a kill or at least clear up some minions as quick as possible. But Crota's getting focused down. He's gusted into the wall. He's cleansed, but it doesn't matter. He's body blocked out by Power of Dream. That's going to be another kill going over to the Russian Circus as they begin to move in to grab this tribute. Hydra in a great position to zone. And Varian, while he's dead, he's not stacking. He's only halfway through his globes and just under halfway through his takedown part of his build here. And it is Colossus Smash.
Was very well done, by the way, on the side of Falstad, gusting into that corner. It was really important here. Colossus Smash has been taken, and we've been talking about it. The Twin Blades are very, very strong, but at the same time, Colossus Smash is still very good if you just want to burst the target down. That's one of the things that is going to happen here as well. And it's also the more popular talent these days. We have also the Expulsion Zone taken, but the curse that happens against the red team is giving a lot of value to these heroes. Falstad is still on the way up to the top. We have the lane at the bot pushed in very hard, but over here we have a bit of a problem for maybe Muradin. The stun is there against Kronos, against Varian, but they could turn this around. The drill on the ground, since we see Falstad coming in with a mighty gust, and immediately ETC reacting with a stage dive, but it's already too late for Brightwing.
Yeah, we did see the Expulsion Zone go down, but it was onto the Sanctification there, so we got no value. There's the stun onto Li Ming. Varian down to Mopsio, chased out by Sir Ice Cream, and that's a 4-0 in favor of Russian Circus.
That was actually crazy. When he dropped the drill, I was just like, what in God's name is he doing right now? That's a total waste of an ult, and that's the moment when you see Falstad appearing from the top lane. It's like, oh my god, he's gonna gust them back in again. And that's exactly what he did. They get 4 kills out of this. That was great play. They see an opportunity and they jump on it. That was so well done. Getting 4 kills. That's so many stacks on Falstad alone. That's also, of course, going to make sure that they get 2 bosses if they want them. Russian Circus is playing a way more coordinated game than they played in any of these games in this series so far.
Yeah, these roaming kills is what has put them on the map in the past, and it's what they're doing so well in this game. So they're beginning to move in to even steal this easy camp. They want the Siege Giants and that boss to try and make a play onto bottom keep. ETC is top lane for the Jabronis, so we could try and stage dive in here to help out his team with the defense, which he may have to do here as the Siege Giants have been taken and the boss has arrived.
Bosses there, Siege Giants, the timing is perfect, and they should get it. Let's see if it works out. Cleanse on Varian already. Varian is in trouble in a lot of it. He's dead, actually. Expulsion Zone not even saving him. ETC will not jump down. They know that they cannot save the keep. The keep is gone. The boss on half health. It looks very much like they're going to go for core here. The drill is on the ground, and that's the time for ETC to jump in. There's the Sanctification on the ground, maybe a bit early, but we have them just bursting everything down. Tetcha, they are going to take this.
They're going to take that very quickly. 9-minute game by core, and that brings it to a 2-2, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to a game number 5 in this best of 5 series.
I mean,